Have you ever faced criticism? I mean, where somebody actually has come into you and said something that didn't quite hit you right, didn't quite, hit you in all the good feels and maybe made you feel a little bit bad about yourself. And the big question about it is how did you handle that? How did you handle that thing when somebody gave you that critical statement that you just did not take the right way? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today on the Everyday Leader Live. And I just want to say first and foremost, thank you all for being here tonight with me. We are going to really get into this place of learning how to handle criticism correctly. My name is Jim. I'm the Everyday Leader, and I do this weekly every week at 5 p.m. on Fridays. Although today you might think today's not Friday. You're right. Today is Saturday, and the reason why we're not on Friday is because I had some schedule shifts, but today I'm doing amazing and we're hitting all cylinders. So let's just jump right in. And as always, just remember, you can ask your questions anytime during the show. I do see them in the box, and I want to make sure that we answer questions live. This is to help you guys be better leaders. This is to help you guys get to a place where you're a leader worth following. So let's just jump right into those things, man. It's about handling criticism the right way, my friends. And I want to be able to do a little bit of playing around here. Look at this. See, look at this right here. So the thing is if you do anything meaningful, anything, right? If I was to ask you, do you have a big thing in your life? Do you have some sort of goal, some sort of amazing dream in your heart that you're like, man, I want to do this thing, right? Maybe you're out there who is a church planter and want to plant 15 churches and save 47,000 people. Maybe you're somebody who wants to start a business and your whole heart is to impact the sick and do those things. If you are somebody who absolutely is looking to do something of significance, something that means something worthwhile, you're going to attract critics. And there could be different reasons for that. There could be different reasons why you attract critics. There's different reasons in that. And some of those things may be the simple fact is that people are jealous of your trajectory. That could be. Maybe it's somebody who's just bitter in their life and they don't know how to handle somebody else's success and they can't celebrate you. But no matter what you do, guys, no matter where you're coming from, no matter who you're with, guess what? If you do anything of significance, if you do anything that is worthwhile in your life, if you press into something, you are going to attract a critic. You are going to attract somebody who is going to say something that isn't going to sit well with you. And I just want to talk to you tonight about that and how we can truly be these people who are going to answer this the right way. Because if you're going to be a leader worth following, if you're going to be a leader who is out there doing the thing and maintaining their reputation, right? Because we all know those people who get there and they're criticized and they get defensive and things happen. I'm going to tell you guys, defensiveness is often proof to the person that they're right. Even if they're wrong, it proves to them and it reels down on their right to criticize. So we've got to handle this correctly. And how you handle this, how you handle criticism, how you handle your critics will actually determine the trajectory of your flights and how high you can go. And you and I have to get to that point where we understand that as a leader, when you raise in your abilities, when you raise in your leadership, right? Comes to a place, my friends, where your responsibilities go up and your rights go down. I mean, that's all what leadership is. And this is leadership in your business, leadership in your church, or leadership in your home. Because the more responsibility I take on myself, the more of a leader I want to become, the more I'm held accountable for everything I say, even if I'm in the right. Even if you say something not so good to me and I rebuttal, right? But I don't rebuttal in a healthy way. I'm automatically seen in the wrong at times because I carry that moniker of leader, because somebody looks to me and follows me. So you're taken to a higher standard. So you've always got to be at this place of making sure that you're answering your critics correctly. You've got to make sure that you're bringing into this place where you and I are going to do the thing that needs to be done, right? And there we go. We're playing with our screens here, so hopefully you don't get all the, craziness of the screen. But here's what we're going to do. Today we're going to go over pretty quickly 8 strategies for how to handle criticism. Because I believe in these next few moments that if you put even one of these things into place, I mean, you don't even need to do all 8. You just need to put one And I'm going to tell you, when it's a countdown from 8 to 1, they're not no particular order, but number 1 is one you're going to stick around and want to hear. But here's the thing, is that it doesn't matter how many of these you remember. It doesn't matter how many of them you write down. Matter of fact, if you've ever heard me speak, a short pencil is better than a long memory. So maybe you write some of these down. But what matters is that you apply something. One thing applied is better than 4,000 things known. And no matter how much you think you're smart enough or well enough, if you're not applying it, it doesn't matter. If you're not putting it to use, it doesn't matter. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're applying what we're using, or at least if you see everything, apply one thing. We do that with the Bible studies too that we host, is that I don't care if we read four passages. I don't care if we read 45 passages. What are you applying? And that's really what life is about, guys. You are more likely to overcome your obstacles or your challenges for one thing applied instead of being an encyclopedia of 80 things known. So let's just jump in, right? Are you guys ready? In the comments, let me know. Drop them down there. Say, hey, listen, I'm ready. And again, any questions, any thoughts, concerns, moans, groans, true confessions, I'm all here for you. And also, we are loving each and every thing and hanging out with you guys. So let's start with number 8. Number 8 is know the difference between deconstructive criticism and constructive criticism. Okay? Know the difference between, constructive and deconstructive. Now I want to tell you that there is a huge difference, guys. I want you to lean in with me for a second here, because I'm going to take that off the screen, and I want you to listen. I want you to get this. There are people out there who love you. There are people out there who have your best interest at heart. There are people out there who really mean well. But then there's people who really don't know you and they just like to say things. And there are people out there who don't know how to actually say the thing that needs to be said. It's not that the thing is wrong, but they just don't know how to say it. So they say it in an improper way. And guys, one of the keys to this thing, let me show you the key here. One of the keys to this thing is people think they mean well, but they really don't know how to give positive feedback. People think they mean well, but they really don't know how to give positive feedback because maybe they've never had positive feedback in their life. Maybe they've never had a place where they were like given the example of here's how you do the thing. Maybe they've never had time of really seeing what constructive criticism really looks like, right? So there's a method. Here's a method that's called the 5 to 1. For every 5 positive things says, you get to say 1 negative. And if that's the case, man, I'm going to come in, and if we were sitting coaching, if I was coaching you, and you said, Jim, I have this issue with this person doing this thing, right? Whatever that thing is, I would sit there first and say, here's 2 or 3 things that you're doing well, right? Now let's talk about where we need to work on. Did you see how I did that? Did you see how I transitioned? Here's where we need to work on. Most people don't know how to give positive feedback. Like I said, because the deal is with positive feedback is you have to do it in a way that's going to be positive. If it doesn't feel positive, it's deconstructive, man. That's the difference. Like when you get to the place, know the difference between constructive and deconstructive. Constructive builds you up, deconstructive tears you down. And if I'm going to be a person who gives you positive reinforcement, positive constructive criticism, then I'm going to tell you what you're doing right. And then I'm going to transition it with phrases like, let's talk about something that you can do better in. Or let's talk about this because I can see some room for improvement. And one of the challenges is that many people don't know how to do that. Many people will get to the place and say that you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, right? And so here's the deal. We've got to train people on how to give positive feedback to us if they don't know how to give positive feedback. That's a beautiful way to do it. And I want to be able to say this, guys. There was a great question. And that comes from one of my longtime friends, Fran. And it says, what if you don't have time? Now, I'm going to answer this the best I understand than what you're asking, but I would love for you, Fran, to give me a little extra comment there so I understand a little bit better what you're asking. But my question is, what if you don't have the time to share or give those feedbacks? Here's where the challenge becomes as leaders, as parents, as church leaders, business leaders and things. You don't have the time not to. Because here's what it does. If I give negative feedback to somebody in a way that's not healthy because I've been criticized, because now I'm creating somebody who's going to hold bitterness, and that bitterness is going to be spread through other people. That's going to ultimately hurt my reputation. And if you own a business, somebody may not buy from you. If you run a church, somebody may not come to your church because of it. And if it's in your home, there may be tension in your home. So you want to put the effort in first to say, okay, let me help people understand how to give positive feedback so that I can actually train them in a way that's going to be like, here is this, and this is how I need it being said. Because 1 minute of planning now saves you 30 minutes of putting out fires later. So, all right, here's a follow-up. We want to see what this is what Fran says. When you're doing a project that has to be done in a short amount of time and someone's doing it wrong and it has to be done on schedule, sometimes you don't have the time to give the positive at the same time. There's always time to give positive at the same time. I'm going to leave that on there for a second for people who are just jumping in. There's always positive. See, when you go in, and I love the honesty and I love the question here. We think that feedback always has to be negative, right? It's not. Remember, it's constructive feedback. It's constructive criticism. And does it really take so much time to say, hey, I love what you're doing, but we need to change up what we're doing to this? How long did that take me? That literally took me 3 seconds to say. Why can't we add positive monikers in there? Why can't we add positive statements and just sit there in a place where we're giving these positive feedback in a way that's this? And you want to recognize the work that they're doing. If I was to come to you, you guys who are listening, if I was to come to you and say, hey, you're doing this, and this wrong, and we have a deadline to fix or to meet, what does that say? That says I care more about my deadline than our relationship. That says I care more about my deadline than what we're working on. And so if I can switch that up to care more about you, I'm going to get more work out of you. So in the end, the person works harder. The person works better because I'm getting more work out of you because I've taken the time to actually give you the feedback that you need. I'm going to give you, hey, here is one good positive thing. You're doing great on this. Now let's work on this. It doesn't take anything but 3 seconds, but it's a mindset that you and I have to get right. Because if we're going to learn the difference between constructive and deconstructive, then the bottom line is we got to be good people who give positive feedback and not like most of the people in the world who give this negative feedback because they never were given positive themselves. It's all about being positive, giving positive, and then learning to take the positive and train those people. Because remember, you're a leader. Okay? Leaders lead and leaders train people. And if they're not doing the job right, that's on you. That's your training. That's not their fault. You need to be a leader and you need to train them correctly. And then you need to give them positive feedback and then take whatever feedback they give to you. The next one on our list is number 7. But before I do that, I just want to thank you and welcome all you guys who are coming in. We're talking about the 8 strategies for handling criticism the right way, because we don't want to be able to do this the wrong way, because there's too many people out there that do it the wrong way. And for you guys who are just joining me, I am Jim Burgoon. I am the host of the Everyday Leader Live. We do this every week at 5 p.m., usually on Fridays, but yesterday I had a church event, so we moved it to Saturday. But I wasn't going to go a week without seeing my favorite people in the world, so I'm grateful for you guys. And guys, as always, we do answer questions live. So if you ask a question about a point, if you need me to clarify something, or you just want to ask whatever question, if I can get to it, I'll make sure we do it at the appropriate times. And we each and love you, each and every of us. So let's go back to number 7. Are you ready for number 7? Number 6 was pretty tight, deconstructive versus constructive. But here's the other thing. And I like this because this speaks to my personality. Don't take yourself too seriously, right? Don't take yourself too seriously. Now, I know this is something that we talk about often, right? This is something somebody says, don't take yourself too seriously. But I want to tell you guys, not taking yourself too seriously doesn't mean being silly, right? I like the silliness because that's part of my personality. I'm a high energy, high silly guy. But that doesn't mean you have to take yourself too silly, right? That's a key. It doesn't mean you have to joke around if you're not the joking type. It doesn't mean you have to be this person who's out there and has to be like, no, but you realize you just have to loosen up. You just got to take the stick out of said place that's not supposed to have that stick there, right? Remove that thing and just loosen up and realize you and I are flawed human beings. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to do things that are just not going to be okay. And that's okay not to be okay. And it's okay that we're going to make the wrong decisions. It's okay that we're going to say the wrong things. That happens, right? That happens. But guess what? When I understand that, I give myself this really beautiful word. And this really beautiful word called grace. And I give myself grace for making mistakes. And I say, you know what? It's okay that I make mistakes. It's okay. And I'm going to take off this picture for 1 second because I want you to hear this. It's okay, guys, that you make mistakes. You're human. You're imperfect. But you're a ball of beauty. You're a ball of amazingness. And you have amazing things that come from you. Some guys are the art. Some of you guys are music. Some of you guys are like colloquialisms and you know, pop culture and all this stuff, like my Facebook user. And I don't see you over there on my Facebook just because Facebook doesn't let us see some of you guys. But they said, why so serious? I love that. You know, it's a pop culture reference, right? But if we take ourselves too seriously, we set ourselves up for offense. We set ourselves up to be offended often. On my last live stream, I talked about the fact that offense is a choice. You get to choose to be offended. But if you're taking yourself way too serious, you're always going to be offended. You're always going to be offended, guys. Because here's the thing. If I'm going to be taking myself way too serious and I have said stick and said location, then when somebody brings criticism to me, I'm going to take that way, way too serious. And I'm not going to see any of the positives in it. And even if they're a negative individual, I'm not going to see anything positive or I'm not going to learn from it. I'm just going to get offended. And then everybody and every problem has an issue and every issue becomes your issue because now it's my issue, right? But if I just loosen up, if I just have surgery on said stick from said place, and I know you guys are wise enough to know what I'm talking about, although I don't use that language and I won't, but here's the thing. You know what I'm saying. But just loosen up. Realize you are who you really are. Take the mask off and just come to the place that you're not as perfect as you think you are, and you never will be. You're never going to be perfect. So just have fun with it. Enjoy your life. And you handle your critics because you learn to be able to enjoy yourself to a place where you're like, yeah, you can laugh with them. You can have fun with them. And you can say, you know what? You're right. That is me. Somebody criticized me the other day, like, man, you talk too much. I was like, you know what? You're right, but you're still here listening. So, you know what I'm saying? But my top gift in my life is a gift of a communication. I could have taken that at a negative thing, but I took it as you're just recognizing the positive in me, and I may not be your cup of tea, right? I may not be your cup of tea, but that's okay. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But I also think everybody should like me, but that's okay too. But I realize that not everybody is going to, and that is okay. So remember, guys, as we jump through these countdown of these things, remember, drop some stuff in the comments. I do love engaging with my audience. And if you have any questions, Fran asked an amazing question earlier, which we answered. If you got anybody else has any other questions, love to have you there. You know, we like to make people laugh around here. We are enjoyable people. But here's the thing, and guys, just to reset, Jim, the everyday leader, we do go live every Friday, although this is not Friday. This is Saturday. That's okay, guys, because yesterday there was a church event, but I'm here today because I don't want to miss time with you. I don't want to miss time where I get to pour into you 20 plus years of leadership ability, leadership knowledge, a master's degree in leadership, 2 certifications in leadership that I get to pour in you to make. Why? Because I want to make you and help you become the leader worth following, because that's what this channel's about. It's about making you and helping you become a leader worth following. And when you're a leader worth following, your impact, your influence, and your income all naturally increase. And that's really what you want, guys. You want to be able to be more influential, more impactful, and you want the bottom line to increase. But that happens when you become a leader worth following. And just, guys, we do this every week. Remember, ask your questions in the live chat. We'd love to get to them. And we're going to head off into number 6 on our 8 strategies on how to handle criticism the right way, because there is a wrong way and many people do the wrong thing at the wrong time. And you're not one of those people, because you are part of this tribe. You are a leader worth following, and you are going to be somebody who handles it the right way. We went over 2 of them already. Here's number 3. And this seems like average everyday knowledge, but just consider the source. Consider the source, guys. But I don't understand sometimes. This really gets me. Like there are people that you don't even like, that you can't stand being around. But the moment they criticize you, you act as if a nuclear bomb has been dropped on your life. You don't even like the people. So why is their opinion so weighted in your life if you can't even stand to be around them? I mean, seriously, think about that. If you have trouble being in relationship with anybody, again, this could be a business, man. Some of y'all need to fire some of your clients. All right, guys, some of y'all need to fire some of your clients because your clients are just at a place where they're just so needy that they're not doing the work. Some of you guys just need to fire them. Some of you parents need to step up and actually parent. Your kid doesn't need a friend. They need a parent. Some of you guys at church, man, don't be afraid to just say what needs to be said and in a correct, positive way. That was number 8. Number 7, do it positively, right? Don't take yourself too seriously. But consider the source. Understand broken people are broken. Hurting people hurt people. And guess what hurting people do? They say hurtful things, right? So when people are going to say something that's going to be hurtful, it's going to be hurtful because they're hurting. Consider the source. If it's somebody you don't even like, what matters if they said something negative? You don't even like them, right? So just, guys, I can't stress this enough. Consider where the things are coming from that you're putting so much weight. Look past the criticism and to the critic. See who's speaking. If it's somebody who has influence in your life, somebody you trust, know, like, who you know that even if on a bad day they say a bad thing, like something wrong, that ultimately they love you, then guess what? Then you may want to, get in there and ask them, hey, listen, you said this in a way that really didn't feel good, but I understood what you said. So you can have those conversations because you have a relationship. But if it's somebody you don't like seriously, guys, just get to a place where you're just like, listen, your opinion really doesn't matter in my life. And you may criticize me, but I love you and I love who you are. And I hope that we can journey together to help you be a leader worth following. But if you have a negative criticism, guess what? I need to ask the questions. Are you in so much pain that you want to cause pain to others? Or maybe I need to do leadership training with you on how to give positive feedback. Welcome to the live this week, how to give positive feedback. Sit through it, take notes, right? Why? Because we want to create people and add value to people so that people are constantly saying, hey, I saw this, because we have blind spots, guys. I have blind spots. You have blind spots. And all your critics aren't wrong. They just say things wrong, but it depends on how much weight you put into it. And I'm going to challenge you to not put in weight on people that don't matter in your life, right? If they don't matter in your life, don't give them the weight that's there. They do matter. Have tough conversations, courageous conversations, if they matter that much, if they said it in the wrong thing. And let me say this before we go to the last point. I want to take this off for a second, this slide right here. And I want to have this conversation. Let's just you and I have this conversation. If you and I, we're in a coaching session right now, right? And I really need to have this moment of coaching with you, because I think this will change your life. I think they'll move thing, because you have a mentor. Right? You get on this channel because I'm mentoring you through my YouTube channel. It's free content. This is where I mentor you. My lives are full packed with some full pack value, right? But you also have people you like, man, I want to model and mentor, right? These guys. Here's what I would say to you. You've been doing great, like following their advice, doing their thing. The one thing that I would say, that you probably would need to do different. Don't put them on pedestals. Don't put them on pedestals. Because when you put your mentor or your coach on a pedestal, they can do no wrong. And when they do wrong, it destroys you. So I want you to come to a place where you understand that they're human too. That they're going to say bad things at the wrong time. And they're going to say things that you don't agree with. And they're going to still love you through it. And you're going to still love them through it. But understand that the moment you put somebody on a pedestal, you've given them so much weight in their life that you've literally ignored all of their flaws to focus on all their goodness. So when they have a flaw, you're like broken and you're falling apart. And now you need therapy because you're falling apart because you put so much into somebody. That's not what this is about. This is about keeping people in the proper places in our lives, keeping Jesus in his place in our life and the centrality of our life, but keeping people at the proper place, not on pedestals, but as people who are going to help us break through to the next level, be the best leader, be the best whatever you are, but understanding that at the end of the day, people were never meant to be on pedestals because they're going to say hurtful things. They're going to say something that's going to be wrong. And that's okay because guess what? They may have had a bad day. And if they're on a pedestal and they had a bad day, then it's going to hit you the wrong way and you're going to have a bitter root in there. So let's take people off pedestals and just see people for who they are. See the critic, right? Consider the source. Hurting people hurt people. But even good people say dumb things every now and then. So let's make sure that we come to a place where we're not putting people on pedestals. So guys, as we go down, I don't want to show you number 5 yet. Y'all didn't see that. You didn't see anything right there because I wanted to acknowledge some of you guys in the room. And Fran, welcome. Thank you for chatting. I just turned it back and then ran away again. Look at this. Welcome to the show Out Loud. Out Loud, we're grateful that you're here. George Barry, so good over there on Facebook. Grateful that you're here with us as well. Guys, I'm thankful for all you guys who tune into the show, support and learn and grow with each and every one of you guys. Again, I'm Jim, the Everyday Leader. If you guys don't know me, you can find me all the place on Lead with Jim and all the social medias, Lead with Jim. And we do this every week, and we're asking your questions live. So if you have questions, you have comments, please drop them in the chats. We'd love to have these conversations with you. And at the appropriate times, I'll make sure I get to them. Because why? Because I love each and every one of you guys. And I want to make sure that each and every one of you guys feel valued. If I don't get to your question in this show, I will make sure that we get it to you either through a reply or through the next show. So let's go to number 6 because I want to value your time and value, or number 5 on our countdown of the strategies. Number 5 is this. Oh, we got extra things. Let's remove the extra things. Recognize significant people get criticized. Okay? Just let's take a moment. Let's just recognize that significant people get criticized. We started this conversation with, if you want to do anything significant, if you want to do anything in your life that matters, like whatever that thing is, put X here, whatever your purpose is in life. Maybe you want to grow a movement of men. My brother George Barry just started that with the Core over there on Facebook here in Orlando. If you're a man in Orlando, need to connect with the Core. Hit me up on Facebook or YouTube. We'll let you know how to do that. But here's the deal. So I gave a shout out there for you guys. So here's the deal. He wants to start a movement of men in order to be closer to Jesus and transform the actual face of their lives, their community, their families, everything else. And I'm part of that movement. Love it. There are people on here who are out there feeding the homeless, feeding the sick every single week and want to start something grander. Some of you guys want to start a church, start a ministry. Some of you guys need to start a business because guess what? Your business will change lives, but you're too afraid. Why are you afraid? Just get and do it. You're going to fail, but that's okay. Failure is the womb of success. But I want to tell you guys that when you do something significant, you will get critics. Whatever the reason be, maybe somebody doesn't like your success. Maybe somebody is jealous of your success. Maybe somebody's just hurt and they just like hurting people. Well, maybe they don't like it, but it just happens. Get out there and realize that you who are chasing purpose, you who are the dream makers, you who are the action takers, you who want to be impactful and significant in your life will have people who are trying to stop you. And that's okay because they're not going to stop you. You're going to move it. You're going to keep moving it because guess what? A person with vision cannot be stopped. But if you can be stopped, you got to ask the question, how strong was your vision in the first place? And so here's the key to this, guys. Here's the key. People who take action and do something with their lives become targets. Big target on your back, guys. But that's okay. You just got to be comfortable with being in the limelight. You got to be comfortable with being a target. You got to be comfortable with other people's brokenness. So in order to do that, you and I have to come to a place that if we're going to live and be comfortable in people's brokenness, then we have to be okay in ours. You cannot change somebody until you change yourself. That's just the bottom line, guys. You cannot help somebody until you've helped yourself. Build the thick skin, keep the soft heart, and understand that you'll have to step into other people's brokenness to understand why they're criticizing, but to help them get past that to become your greatest ally. Because I'm going to tell you what, here's the thing. Here's my lean in moment. I'm going to have this. We're going to have a screen here on future shows that says, here's the lean in moment. So let's take this off the screen. I'm going to ask you to lean in with me. Here's the thing. Your greatest critics can become your greatest cheerleaders. if you handle criticism correctly and you win them over. If you handle them correctly and you win them over. Your greatest critics can become your greatest cheerleaders. Your greatest critics can become your cheerleaders. Just want to welcome to the show real quick. Productivity Ace, thanks for being here. Thanks for the shout out for the great channel. I'm trying hard to give guys value, and you also have a great channel. Make sure you guys check it out. Empathy, absolutely the most important. Yes, sir. Empathy is the most important tool. Empathy and compassion together, you're dangerous. You're absolutely a dangerous human being if you have empathy and compassion. But if you do that, your greatest critic can become your cheerleader. If you're willing to put the work, if you're willing to walk through the challenge in order to create and find the gold. Be gold diggers, guys. Not the rich people trying to find money, or the poor people trying to find rich people to marry, but be gold diggers, because there's gold and there's diamonds inside every person, but you got to get through the muck, the dirt, and the grime to find it. Be gold diggers, guys. Be a leader worth following, because a leader worth following is somebody who is willing to go to the depths of darkness to get somebody out and pull them to the light, guys. So, let's see what we got. Some more comments over here. Loving the comments, guys. Productivity Ace over there says, yeah, I had a client who used to give me so much grief, and then I worked with him, and now he's a great supporter. Yeah, again, your greatest clients or your greatest critics can be your greatest cheerleaders and your greatest clients, by the way. I've had one or two of those things. He said that he loved the way I took the criticism and acted on it. You know what? Sometimes people are just testing you. Sometimes people are just testing you to find how you're going to react before they hire you. Sometimes people are just testing you to find out how you're reacting before they come to your church. And sometimes, okay, we're going to say all the time, parents, dad, mom, your kids are always testing you just to see how you react and what they can get away with. Okay, so testing is part of life, and it's going to be part of what happens. So just learn to walk through the test, and you're being tested, so pass the test. And of these 8 things, if you do one of them, as I said earlier, one thing applied is better than 400 things known. If you do one of these things, you're already going to be that much further in passing the test. So let's jump into number 6. You guys loving this? In the chat, let me know. Give me some love. Just say you're loving this. And if you have any other questions, make sure you drop them as well. So here's the thing. Number 4 in our list, keep yourself in shape. Okay. Let me qualify this. I am not talking about physical shape as much. Now, I will say that if you're unhealthy physically, you'll be unhealthy mentally, you'll be unhealthy spiritually, you'll be unhealthy emotionally, financial, all of that stuff. If you do not, or if your body is not at peak performance, you will not be at peak performance. So all you guys who are like, I just can't get to the gym, you are seriously stunting your growth, right? Just end of story. I don't always make it to the gym, but I was able to lose 40 pounds in 7 months. I lost 40 pounds. Why? Because I am really, really committed to health of my body. Because guess what? Once you get out the physical out of the way, now you can work on the health of emotional health, mental health, spiritual health, relational health, professional health, and ultimately financial health, right? Those things get to be worked on. They have to be worked on, but you can't work on some of that until you're in shape. If some of you guys can't walk up steps, now if you have a disability that causes you can't walk up steps, this is not about you. But if some of you guys are just lazy, this is not a critical moment just to take in the heart and be like, oh, he's just criticizing me. No. Remember what I said first. I want you at peak performance. I want you at your healthiest. Some of you guys are not making the money you should be. Some of you guys are not making the impact you should be because you're not at a healthy place. Do one thing, get 1% better. I'm not telling you to start going to the gym. What I am telling you to do, make a choice right now to be healthy. Because if you can get healthy physically, everything else will start to fall into place, because you're going to want to get healthy mentally. You're going to want to get healthy emotionally. You're going to want to get healthy physically. Not physically. I said physically. Relationally, you're going to want to get healthy professionally, and you're going to want to get healthy financially. And all of that gets to a place when you start working and taking one step. You just need to be 1% better than you did yesterday. You need to take one decision you just need to make to be healthier, right? Whatever that decision is, get in there and begin to make those decisions to become healthier, right? Your business, your life depend on it. The level and quality of your business depends on it. Healthy people create healthy things, and healthy things reproduce. If your business isn't reproducing, if your church isn't reproducing, it's because it's not healthy. So what is it that thing? So here's the question. What is the thing that you need to do in order to create health in your life? Just one thing. Pick one thing. Some of you guys just stop with the to-do list. Listen, I have a to-do list. I could show you my pack of to-do list. Matter of fact, I will show you my list. I think my to-do list had babies. This is all my to-do list, right? Because I keep doing it, I keep getting them, and then I throw it away and I do another list, right? Because I forget I have the first list. But guess what? That all doesn't matter. None of that really matters to get done. You know what matters to get done? That I do one thing. One thing. So pick one thing right now that you say by the end of this live tomorrow morning, because it's 5:30 in the afternoon on the Eastern Standard Time. Some of you guys are across the world, wherever you are. First thing in the morning tonight, make the decision that you're going to do one thing that's going to make you healthy. Could be one less hour of Netflix. And in that hour, you could be reading your Bible. Could be one less hour of just sitting on the couch. And in that time, you can go for a walk in 30 minutes. It could be calling a friend. Remember, relational health. When was the last time you called a friend? When was the last time you actually had a friendship conversation and you were not just having a business conversation or a church conversation? Maybe you should just be out there and just get out there and do something that's going to make you 1% better. That's it. That's all. 1% better. I love what Ace just said. He says, I need to kill the moments when I get super negative. Oh my gosh. Yes, sir. And he follows up with this. He says, the negative voice in my head, I need to silence it. Oh, that is another live right there. And I'm gonna jot that down, because that is another live, silencing the negative voices in our minds. Because I'm going to tell you, that is huge. And I'm literally writing that down, because I think that's a beautiful thing. Thank you for that. You see, you get inspiration everywhere. You just get inspiration everywhere, guys. I love it. I love how things works. I love how relationship works. And I love how building community works, because now I have inspiration to do a very impactful thing, how to silence the negative voice in your head. That's going to be another episode. So here's the thing. So that's hugely important. And it's so important because sometimes the negative voices are louder than the positive. Like, you know what you need to do, but now you need to do something about it. And one way you can silence it is feed the one that's positive, right? There's a great story that I love, and the story was a Native American story. You may have heard this story. It's a beautiful story. It's a Native American grandfather, and he's sitting on a porch with his grandson, and he said two dogs were fighting, right? One we'll call love and all things good, put whatever that is, positivity, love, Jesus, whatever. And one thing was, negativity. The other dog, hate. Whatever that thing is, right? That negative voice. And he sits back and he says, these dogs are fighting. He talks to his grandkid. He says, which one wins? If I was to ask you which one wins, which one would you think wins? Grandson sits there. He's like, He said, well, Granddad, I don't know. And the wise old man, he says, the one that wins is the ones that you feed. The one that wins is the one that you feed, because the one you feed is the one that gets strength from the food you feed it, right? So therefore, if you're going to win the voice over the voices in your head, the negativity, you need to start feeding the positive and starving the negative, because what you feed wins. Every single time, what you feed wins. So feed the right things, starve the wrong things. Great conversation, guys. So let's go on to number 3. Let's do number 3 on these things of, and for all you guys who are just joining, we're actually counting down. So we're down to our last 3, not our first 3, although we can do this for quite a while. We're down to our last 3 because we decided to count down, and number 1 is going to be the fun one. So number 3 is this on the 8 things that need to handle criticism the right way, is see the bigger picture. You need to see the bigger picture, guys. And the key to a lot of the bigger picture comes at, a little sensitive on my mouse, looking past the criticism the critic and seeing the crowd behind the critic. Why is it, oh my gosh, why is it, guys, that we get so focused and obsessed on the one person that said negative things when there's 50 saying so many great things about you? Why is it that? Why is it that we get so obsessed with that one person? It's like we're having a great day and we're like, yay, and everything's going right. And we found money on the ground and we found this here and we found that there. And we're doing so good. And people are telling us how much they love us and how our program is wonderful. Our kids even came in and said, Dad or Mom, you're such a good parent. And your church constituents came in and said, Pastor, you're amazing. And then all of a sudden that one person says, yeah, I think you suck. And you're like, oh my gosh, somebody doesn't like me. Somebody thinks I suck. Like, oh my gosh. So you really get to the place, guys, that we put so much emphasis on that one. Take a step back, guys. See the tapestry. See the tapestry for what it is, not the pieces that go in the tapestry. That one critic is just one part of the tapestry. But when you step back, you'll see so much more beauty in it, even if there's one flaw. You'll see so much more beauty. So here's where we begin to shift and we say, you know what? I'm going to make the conscious decision not to focus on the critic. It hurts. I don't like it. I've got to get thicker skin. I got to build up my emotional maturity. But guess what? I need to get to a place where I'm seeing the fact that 50 people love me and see that I've done something good in their lives, and only one hate me, and they never even worked with me in the first place. And they don't even know me. Isn't that the way? This is the way. This is the way life happens. Like, all you guys who caught the Mandalorian thing there, I'm a huge nerd, so you'll hear a lot of those dropped. But this is the way. This is the way we do things. It's because we're so insecure inside that we go and say that one person's weight is so much bigger than all the 50 that other people's weight. Guys, I want to share with you that no, it's not. You may not know the person. You don't know their pain. You don't know their hurt. You don't know where they're at. And you may not even understand why they're saying what they're saying. But you just forgive them and move on and say, hey, listen, if you want to have a conversation about this, we can go deeper. But I'm going to tell you 9 out of 10 times they don't want to have a conversation. They just want to say something and make you feel something and then move on. And then just actually come out and say, you know what? If you don't want to have the conversation, it's fine. But I'm going to focus on the fans. I'm going to focus on the other people because I want to focus on what's positive in my life. Learn from what's negative, but focus on what's positive. Focus on what's positive. Let's take a look at the chat. Some of you guys, there's so many good things happening in the chat. Fran over there says she says, I got to stop thinking I have all the time in the world to get everything to everybody. Yes, you don't. You have the same 24 hours that every one of us have, right? First things first. Think about that. There's in the 8 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey, he says, first things first, put first things first. What is your biggest priority and work down from there, right? And I love the fact that there's a lot of conversations on the side there in the chat. We love it. We're having an active chat over here on YouTube. So if you're not over here on YouTube, come on over, hit the like, hit subscribe button. We'd love to have you as a community member of the Everyday Leader. So here's the thing. So yeah, first things first, guys. Always put the first thing first. Whatever your biggest priority is, do it, and then work your way down, and whatever's left, do it the next day. Michelle says here, I like what Michelle says. She says, this is true in our personal relationships as well. Absolutely. Every bit of this is very true in our personal relationships, guys. Because leadership, let me say this. I just had this conversation with somebody, and I want to make sure that we roll down because this is an hour show and I don't want to go further than that. So here's the thing, guys. We teach leadership principles here, right? You are a leader. There's a relational leader. There's a business leader. There's a family leader. There's a church leader. There's whole bunches of styles of leadership. And a matter of fact, I'll do an episode on that too. Or maybe I'll just do a short video on my YouTube channel for that. And that'll be just a video you can take a look at. But here's the thing. There's multiple styles. But the leadership principles, all truth is God's truth, and all truth is able to be applied in different situations. So you have to take the truth out of it and say, okay, how can I apply this to my specific situation? If I'm a leader at home, how can I sit there and say, look past the like we just said, see the bigger picture and look past it? Well, let me give you a quick point of that. Well, not everybody in your family is going to agree with what you do, and they're going to criticize what you do. The 1 or 2 people that criticize, listen, I love you. I still going to serve you, but I'm gonna hang out with the 5 or 6 others that are saying, hey, these guys support me. Now I'll learn from you to how to get better, but these guys support me. Personal relationships the same way. If somebody sits with you and you're having coffee with your personal relationship and they say something that hurts and you're like, okay, that was super painful. Again, see the bigger picture. Ask better questions. Hey, that's not like you. Why are you being so critical? Like, what's going on in your life that I need to know about that this is coming forth? There is so much power in a question that you have no idea what it'll unlock. The level of relationship that a question can unlock is amazing. It's amazing. Yes, Ace, you need to do live streams. I know we spoke about this. You absolutely do need to do live streams. I do this every single week. And again, start with 1 subscriber or start with 200 subscribers. Doesn't matter. Start somewhere, because guess what? My live stream is simply this. I want to build community, and I love community. I love all you guys hanging out with me, and this is how I do it. One way I do it is building this way. And I'm going to say this before we go over to my next to last point. You've been too scared to start. Listen, guys, and this is going to be generally to every one of you guys who've ever been too scared to start anything. You'll never know if you're good at it until you do it. And if you're going to do it, this goes perfectly in our conversation, because guess what? Do you want to be significant? Do you want to have significance? Do you want to come to the place where you're actually making a difference in people's lives? Then do the things that make the difference. Will you be scared? Absolutely. Was I scared the first time I hit live? Yeah. But I've been doing this a while, so I'm not as scared. And did I make mistakes on this live? Yeah. But you see, I just roll with it. It's okay. Nobody shot it. Maybe somebody jumped off ship and said, hey, I'm not going to watch you anymore because you made a mistake. Okay, then I'm probably not your guy, because I'm going to make a lot of more mistakes, and it's okay. It's okay not to be okay. It's never okay not to start, because you're going to go 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, and you're going to like, man, I wish I would have done this one. Think about all the people you could have done, impacted, but you didn't impact because you never started. So instead, start today and impact where you are with what you have. And yes, will there be critics? Absolutely will be critics. I got my first thumbs down on a video. I was like, yo, I broke the ice. Great. But they never commented to tell me why they didn't like it. Okay, we're great. So here's the deal. Just get out there and do it. Get out there and do it. Let me say this one last thing. It says, my mission is to teach the benefit of my 20 plus years as a people manager. Love doing my channel so far. All right, listen, then I'm going to challenge you on this live stream. Productivity 8. Hey guys, he's going to schedule a live. Go watch it. Because here's the deal. I have 20 plus years of leadership ability as well. I have a master's degree, two certifications, and several other things, right? I've led a church. I led organizations. I started a business. We can go down those things. But those things don't matter if you never start. Those things sit on a shelf and collect dust until you get out and say, you know what? I'm going to affect one person. If one person shows up on my live stream and I've given them value, I've done my job. I've got my win, and I'll let it grow from there. That's all it is. You'll never know the impact that you have until you start. So start today and just schedule it. Just schedule it, guys. Get out there, whatever that thing is, guys. Start today. See, you never know what value you're going to get from these shows. Love the thing. Love the thing. So let's drop down to number 2, and then we'll go back into the comments. So number 2 is timing is everything. Timing is everything. Did you like how that kind of segued into that? Timing is everything, guys. Listen, the key to this is the basic key is wait for the right timing to prove what is right. If somebody's criticizing you, I don't need to address that right now, because they're hot, they're mad, or something's going on. I just maybe need to say, you know what? I acknowledge you. I respect you. But we're going to talk about this later. But then when you go back to talk about it, let's get into a place where we're doing the thing and saying, hey, listen, what you said was correct. How you said it was not. Did you see the difference there? So many of us want to attack the person and not focus on what's right. We want to attack the person because they attacked us. They hurt my feelings. Remember I said point number 2, remove said stick from said place. Y'all get what I'm saying. But here's the deal. But if they hurt your feelings, okay, then ask yourself, why are my feelings so sensitive? Why am I so hurt right now? What in me needs to come out and be more healthy? But then focus on what is right, guys. Focus on, okay, what they said wasn't wrong, but how they said it rubbed me the wrong way. How did you say this? How did you get to this place? Why did it come across this way? And that's really where it comes down to when you think about it, guys. Focus on what's right, not who's right. Focus on the timing of it, because you can deal with it now and it may not go well, or you can wait and let everybody process and calm down and cool their nerves, and it go great. It go great. Let's go into the comments one more time, and then we're going to end the show with our last point. And I'm so glad that you have stuck around. This has been a great conversation and great conversation piece in the comments with you guys today. I'm loving it. For you guys who are here, I'm Jim, the Everyday Leader. This is the Everyday Leader Live. Guess what? We do this every Friday, but today's not Friday because today We did it because we had an event yesterday, so we did this one day over, and I love spending time with you. But we do this every week at 5 p.m. on Fridays. Make sure you check your schedules and put that up there. And then also we do weekly videos. Matter of fact, I got a new video coming out tomorrow. So you may want to check that out. That is going to be how 5 things you're doing that causes people to lose respect. So there you go. And we are answering everybody's questions here live. And if we don't get them live, I will make sure to either reach out to you, answer them in the comments, or come back on a future show to get to you there. So let's go into number 1, and then I will hit the comments. I said I was going to do the comments, but I'm going to do number 1 first, and then I'm going to get back to the comments because I want to honor your time and I want to honor all those things. So number 1 on our list of 8 things, 8 strategies for handling criticism. Number 1, we've counted down these 7 top strategies. And remember what I said, you don't have to do all 8. You just have to do 1. Just focus on the 1. But here's this, the number 1 thing, the one I said that would be worth the wait is this: focus on the mission, but change your mistakes. Focus on the mission, but change your mistakes. Because what do? When criticized, most of us change our mission and focus on the mistakes. This is a bad idea. I've seen this time and time again. We focus on the mission. That's what it needs to be. Focus on the mission. But some of us are not tied to our mission so much. Some of us don't believe in ourselves. Some of us are so insecure that when somebody criticizes us, we'll change our mission to meet our critics. When your critic doesn't have your best interest, your mission is not for your critic. Your mission for everybody else. And if your mission is for everybody else, don't change your mission because somebody had a bad day and said something bad about your mission. Focus and stay strong to your mission, focus and stay strong on your mission, but change your mistakes. Listen, if a critic brings up a mistake, hey, I thank you for bringing that up. You just gave me a gift. I know where a point I need to grow, but your negative words will not change where I'm going. I am called by God to go to this place to change these people, and you're not going to change me based on your bad day. That's it. And sometimes it derails you. Oh, I'm having such a bad day. I have multiple critics today. Not just one, we have multiple guys. But you know what? That's okay. You can have a bad day. Lay down, eat some ice cream, eat some bonbons, eat something, go out and do a thing, and come back wash your face, get clean hands, and get up and say, I am going to focus on my mission no matter what comes against me. Stop changing your mission every time somebody says something negative about you. Because if you can change it that easily, either A, it wasn't your mission to begin with and you just pirated somebody else's mission, or number 2, you don't have a deep enough revelation about the mission in your life. So maybe it's time to start getting to a place where you dive deeper into who you are, your identity, and what you're here to do. So that way, and why you're here to do it, so that way when somebody speaks out, somebody speaks against you, then you can stand up and say, no matter what your words say to me, it's not going to stop me. No matter what your words come and hurt me, and it hurt like a dagger. I don't like when people say mad or mean things. I don't. I can take it. I've got thick skin, but I don't like it. It hurts because I'm like, how can people be so not so nice? But guess what? I'm on a mission to help you become the leader worth following. Okay, great. I may not be your cup of tea. Great. Go watch somebody else's channel. But here's the deal. For you guys who stick around and as we grow, I want to be the everyday leader, the leader for everyday people who help you rise in the place where you're leading. Is that going to draw criticism? Yeah. Is that going to draw, say, hey, you just don't do things the right way? I don't care. I don't never done things the right way. I just figure it out and we get successful. Right? But don't change your mission. Don't change your vision because somebody decided to give you a bad message. Change your mistakes, but never your mission. So here's the thing. So let's go to the comments. I did get the comments from the last 2 times as we come down, and I will start with this one from our good friend Michelle. She said, ouch, that hurt. Yes, it did, my friend. That did hurt. That was a hurtful one. I told you, but it was worth coming in there, hearing the last one, because the last one, again, is one that you and I need to hold on to, because I'm going to tell you, girl, you've got an incredible mission, because I do know you personally. You've got an incredible mission. Don't change your mission because somebody said something mean. End of story. So let's look at what some of the other comments here. I'm loving this. I think there was a thing where you can actually put your comments on the screen, but I don't know how to do that yet. So we're going to do that next time. But I mean, roll it up. So I'm going to try to see find that thing out. So here's what Ace said, because we talked about getting him to go do lives, right? So here's the story. I did a video on how to beat burnout and address mental health. I love that. I've done multiple things in burnout, and my wife has some mental illness, so mental health is a huge thing in there, and nobody watched it. You know what? That's okay, my friend. And the second part of this, he says, then one day someone mailed me and said that the video made them realize that they had problems that were going to get sorted out. Fantastic. See, but that's what I'm talking about. If nobody watches it and then you get this major breakthrough, that means somebody watched it and their life changed. You know, a lot of times my lives are not for the live people. They're for the replay crew. That's why when I start, I don't just say, hey, thanks for showing up. I start with a powerful introduction. I say, hey, if you like, for you guys who were here for the intro today. Now, the intro was a little off because I think Restream is having some troubles with the countdown, and I found that out later. But I start off every live with, if you've ever experienced criticism, or whatever that thing I'm talking about, right? I start off the powerful thing like that, not because I think anybody's going to be on it first, but because everybody in replay hear that first. So I start off with the replay people in mind, and then my whole focus is on you guys who join me live the rest of the way. So that's one tip and one trick. You can jump in and do that. Fran said this. He says, you told me you used to get nervous. Yes, I did. I know Fran personally as well. I used to get nervous every time I would go up and down each time at service. Every time I would get nervous because each of us are different. And you said you weren't sure how it was going to be, and you received it so well. Yeah, I remember these conversations. You know, I was that person. I did get nervous every time things were said to me, or every time I would go up to certain places, do criticism, or actually get up to speak, I would get nervous. And people would say negative things. Like, I remember one time I was preaching, and I mean, we just had this incredible time. And right between worship and when I was actually going to finish preaching, like there was a time of fellowship and different things. Like, you know, for you guys who are not church people, it's time where you just get up and greet somebody. And this one person out I've never met before said, I've listened to your messages online, and I don't think you teach biblically. I'm like, I'm about to teach. Why did you show up to the church? You know, that had the opportunity to derail me, like, really incredibly. I'm sitting here with, like, this was the time when I think we had about 100 people in the church, and I'm about to share a message of hope to 100 people. And I had one person come up and said, you suck. There are times when you're going to have that at the worst possible time, and you just got to push through it. And I remember I had gone to a place because of people like Fran who were in my life and other people, and I can name dozens of people. But here's the deal. Because of people in my life, I was able to manage that because they helped me manage criticism earlier in my life the right way. And because of that, when that almost derailed me, I was able to have a powerful conversation that took 30 seconds, but basically said, that's not what we do here, and we're just going to preach hope. Go ahead and do the thing. I could have said, hey, listen, I have a degree in Bible. I've been doing ministry. I did ministry for over 15 years, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't. I acknowledged his thing. I said, we may not agree in this. That's okay. And you don't have to stay, but would love to have you stay. And that's all I said. And I went up and I shared a message. That was it. Let's see, last comment here. Any other comments? Let's bring it down. You've been doing it for a long time and you still had fear. Yep, Fran, absolutely. Because sometimes you just don't overcome the nervousness sometimes, because I don't like conflict. And when I'm in conflict, I'm not a fan of it. Can I do it? Absolutely can do it. I have no problem challenging and getting up and having those conversations, but I don't like it. So you still get nervous from time to time. You don't ever perfect it, but you get better at doing it. And if you've listened for the whole time for the 8 strategies to handling conflict, I'm going to tell you, you're already 8 things above able to handle it, move forward, and create success in your life and becoming the leader worth following. Guys, I just want to thank you so much for hanging out. Again, if you have not subscribed to this channel, I would love to have you subscribe to the channel. Hit me up in the notifications, and see when our videos go live. We do answer your questions each and every week. I do want to tell you before we go, I have a parting gift, and in that gift is my free to you guide called The Winner's Mindset, where I put 15 declarations on how to change your mindset from a, average individual to a winning mindset that says, I will accomplish and go forward and do all things. You can find that in the comments, in the links on the channel, on Facebook. It's in that link. It's in the chat, way up in the chat. But if you go to my channel, it's on there too. So just click the link for me, guys, and you get that. And there are also actually several other little tidbits and little goodies up there on that link tree, where you can either schedule a 15-minute session with me, free session, join a DISC personality class that I host every month, or you get a free guide each and everything is fine. I would love to increase the ability to connect with you and have great conversations, guys. I do this each and every week, Friday at 5. Make sure you mark your calendars. And we've got some great episodes. If you ever want to hear an episode, if you ever have any questions, anything where you want me to cover a specific topic, please hit me up in the chats. I would love to be able to hit those topics for you, because this is about you guys. I've spent 20 plus years, tens of thousands of dollars into my education. This is not about me. This is about you and how I can help you be a leader worth following. Much love, each and every one of you guys.